Let's move on to Tesla. Speaking of autos, a little while ago, what Charlie is learning about some plans to refinance there. I'm talking about Charlie Gasparino. Sir.
You know, we're talking about Tesla a lot and the stock imploding and the contretemps between Elon Musk and the SEC. But it is pretty fascinating that the other big three, the so-called profitable automakers, they're all in the water in terms of their stock this year. We should point out that I think GM posted a loss last year. It was largely on tax. It was tax issues. It was a paper loss. But, you know, with tariffs, none of these companies are doing well. The market is taking it out on them. Now, Tesla is a whole other story. Tesla's fighting this sort of battle about when they're going to become profitable. They're fighting a battle of corporate governance, whether Elon Musk is up to the job as CEO. And they're also fighting a balance sheet battle. They are fighting, they essentially have $1 billion of debt. Particularly if the stock doesn't move much from where it is now, they're going to have to pay that $1 billion or so, actually more than $1 billion, over the next 6 months in cash. They don't have a lot of cash on their balance sheet. Because of that, what we do understand is that bankers from all the major firms, they are coming up with ideas. I'm not saying Tesla's asking for it yet. I'm not saying Tesla is pressing the panic button, but the bankers themselves smell the need for refinancing, and they're coming up with all sorts of ideas on how to refinance that debt and how to, like, properly value Tesla. Tesla right now is operating at a loss. Elon Musk says it's going to be positive. It's going to be profitable in third or maybe the fourth quarter. It's still operating at a loss if you look at the books, and its market capitalization is higher than GM's from I think as of Friday.
Tesla's market cap is higher than GM?
Yes, I believe it's. I think GM has like a $50 billion market cap. Someone should check my math on this. Tesla,
you can count on
Tesla has like a $52 billion market cap.
So, but you know that macro picture that Jeff painted for us right now. You know, rising interest rates are generally considered not good for auto guys, not good for housing guys. But I am wondering, though, whether we overreact to the rising rate thing, whether the markets, in your view today, you know, in the latest days, are examples of that. Do we overreact to it, or is it a legitimate concern that this could get still higher?
Well, yes, it could. And I think it's a legitimate concern. I don't think in of itself, without massive raging inflation, you predict Armageddon, a five handle on the 10-year and all that.
We should explain, the last time we looked at a 10-year, no, the bond market is closed today for Columbus Day, but go ahead.
Right. But, the automakers have another thing, and that's the tariffs. It costs more to produce a car because Donald Trump is engaged, the president is engaged in a tariff war. So that will hurt the automakers' bottom line. So the market is factoring that into their stock price. So that's their...
And Chinese intransigence right now.
Some of that.
They're not going to budge. Who blinks on that one, by the way?
I think they compromise. I mean, this has all been a compromise, and the NAFTA rewrite has been sort of marginal. It was nothing great. I mean, I don't know. People were saying it's this greatest thing in the world. They gave a little, we gave a little. It was around the edges, and the president doesn't call it NAFTA anymore. I mean, that's the only difference of what went on with Canada and Mexico. China's a whole other story because...
Well, the White House begs to differ.
Well, they beg to differ about everything.
Maybe
although he's winning me over lately.
See?
I'm starting to like...
You all of a sudden are starting...
I'm not a never Trump.
No.
I'm like sometimes...
I think people here, when you say anything, sometimes Trump... I think a lot of his people and the president himself, when you say one thing critical, they go, bat, you know what. But in the scheme of things, as I said before, I mentioned this 3 24-hour business channels, 3 24-hour news channels. It's not all monolithic one way there. You have time to get into all...
Although I will tell them,
Although I tell you, I do watch some channels where they don't do that.
Yeah,
I mean, listen,
I saw the guy from CNN, Acosta. His question, he asked him a question about Kavanaugh during one of these press conferences. That wasn't really a question. It was like, he basically said, because you're a deviant, sexual deviant yourself, how can you nominate Brett Kavanaugh? It was like almost that.
I don't remember that.
It was almost that, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but it was almost that stark and that contentious and just so over the top. And I was like, wow, that's...
See, my view on this, much like the stars who have a political bias, I don't care what your bias is, and you're free to have it. You're absolutely free, and to take the risk with your fan base for those who might be ticked off by it. But I do believe in this coverage of the president. If you see something bad, by all means get it out there.
But isn't there more?
And if you see something good, by all means get it. We have time to do both.
But isn't there a less? I mean, I'm pretty tough on people, particularly interviewing them. But isn't there a less contentious, in-your-face way to kind of answer the question that he did? And it was Jim Acosta, and I'm sure he's a good reporter, and he's does good. I mean, I've seen him. He's very, very talented broadcaster. But I don't understand why you gotta be that overly contentious with somebody. I mean, there's a way of doing it where you ask the tough question, but you're not. Mike Wallace. We watched him I grew up watching him. He wasn't that. I mean, he didn't call you names as he was rolling out the question. We have time to be both ways.
You can be aggressive, you're hard-hitting. I don't watch him enough to know one way or the other. I will say this. I think that and there's always a risk here, as there is a place, you don't want to be too in bed with someone.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
You want to be fair, and I believe
we try to
do both.
And I will tell you.
And you're going to tick off people who will say, well, the one critical thing you read, whatever, you're never number, you're horrible, and they say all sorts of jokes about me. But that hurts me deeply. But
I've been called a meatball by some of the Trumpkins.
That was me.
No,
but all I'm just saying is everyone's just got to calm down here. And where you deny people balance and you're off on an agenda on the right or the left, you're ill-serving them.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
And, listen, I've been covering Tesla. 1 minute people think on Tesla that I'm the mouthpiece of the guy short that wanted to go to Next thing I'm hearing from the shorts, oh, do you own shares? One guy said, one semi-legitimate analyst just basically raised the question, if you own shares in this thing, your career is dead. I really own shares in the company.
But see, that's the problem. Why should it be surprising if someone at CNN says something positive about the president or an agenda? Why should it be surprising if someone watches Fox Business or News and hears something critical about him? But we live in such a polarizing environment where it becomes like professional wrestling.
Listen,
that is what should be offensive.
Yeah, and I saw it for me during the financial crisis. I mean, I had people attacking me as pumping up the banks, and there's this one idiotic writer at Vanity Fair, Brian Burrow, I'll never forget it. He basically blamed me and a few other people for taking out Bear Stearns. I mean, it was that dumb of a piece that he wrote. And
you did, in fact, take out.
I did not.
Okay.
They took themselves out, and I just chronicled it all the way down.
Well, remember we used to call you Mr. Meltdown.
Mr. Meltdown, you really?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. All right, buddy. Thank you very, very much.